like fire. Nanteleod rides with hearts so dire. To Carleon's gate he brings desire. To claim the throne his blood requires. In Escavalon, where shadows creep, he dreamt of title once so deep. High king he'd be, and make them weep. The Saxons' hold he vowed to sweep. Nanteleod, the brave, the bold, in legends whispered, tales retold. With sword and shield he breaks the mold. A hero's fate in dark and old. Against Eric's might he stood tall. In Carleon's halls he faced the call. For Logra's lands he'd give his all. The Saxon hold he vows to fall. With every strike the foes would cower. In vengeful winds he finds his power. In Carleon's dawn a golden hour. Nanteleod's name the lands endower. Battles fierce with cries of flame, he etched in history his name. Swords clashing wild, a deadly game. Escavalon's pride he reclaimed.
Guards! Knights! Squires! Prepare for battle! Guards! Knights! Squires! Prepare for battle!
I need to play some Mario RPG again.
Indeed. We're live with some open Pendragon. No, we're not. We're live with some Nanteleod's Legacy. This is going to be a good start, I can tell. I can tell I'm already there, gang. I'm ready to go. It's Friday. And yeah. Let's go ahead and quickly introduce the players, and we'll talk about the aftermath of the Siege of Great Bridge and what the plan is from here. We'll start with you, Yampa. We'll go left, right.
What's up, guys? It's Yampa, back again, playing Saroon. Happy to not be dead yet.
I'll trade you.
True.
No.
Speaking of not dead yet, we got Wergar next.
Hey guys, work our plans for Collis. Hopefully, I make a full recovery. We'll see.
All right. Awesome. And then we go to Drax next.
Yeah, Drax as Serene, only slightly damaged so far after our little spat of fighting there, and curious to see what other chaos happens now that we got the one part of the keep captured.
That's fair. That's fair. Bert?
I'm Bert, and I will be Sir Matic this evening. Mainly because we don't know what happened to Sir Cormac yet.
True.
You went crazy.
Spoilers. All right. And then we'll go to Trent next.
Hello, I'll be playing Sir Gwydir and probably crying in a swamp for a couple more days, I think.
He's no longer...
Oh, he's melancholic.
Oh, he is. I am.
Yeah.
See, now I'll have more reason to. He's like he's turned into a country song.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me
That's
just,
Cormac.
Hey, thank you, friend.
let me just roll this real quick. Hold on, this real quick. It's not
there.
a country song.
I think
It's a successful song.
yeah.
It's a hit.
I heard you say it's a country song, so
That'll do.
yeah.
Yep.
Or it's a not very good song. So
Something about shotguns and beer and
yes.
Truck,
My truck.
and my wife left me.
Bo Burnham's just another country song or whatever that was.
yeah,
Oh, yeah. Are you pandering?
Pandering, yeah. Gerrymandering. That was a great one. Okay, so the aftermath. I guess this music's a little too chill for what was just happening.
Nah, we're good.
All right. Nope, that's the weird battle music. Hold on. We need epic choir battle music.
Yes.
I think. There we go. Just 4-second lead in. Okay, so I'm thinking of who we're gonna zoom in on. I think the first thing we see after everything is the gate is opened and we see the cavalry charge in first, followed by the infantry in quick pursuit. The gate is held and taken. And we have a brief zoom in of Collis at this point. We for Collis, we see him being dragged away, almost lifeless, like he will need surgery, and so they're taking it. Someone's calling, "I'll need a surgeon," and it's probably Leontis, Rain's squire, that's doing that. That leaves Rune. You weren't with them. You went up to the top, right? The tower. Yeah. So you kind of arrive back at this point from making your way up the tower. You arrive to the courtyard to see victory, you know, at your fingertips with Nanteleod and his army making their way in to the keep. Give me an awareness roll. All right. You see, you recognize Rain and Matic, right? Was Matic with Rain and Collis, right? Was that the three?
No, Matic was with was with
So
Rune up at
so
the top.
Matic,
Justin.
yeah, Matic is with Rune. That's right. It was Justin. You of course you see Justin. You see Justin, who looks wounded. Rain, who. How bad is Rain? What shape is Rain in?
He's got 2 injuries. One was from an arrow hit, and the other was from a sword slash. So he's decent. He's still in relatively good shape yet.
But you do see Collis being hauled away, Rune, as you arrive. He's got a few different people assisting him, so he's definitely in some kind of critical condition.
I mean, he does have high love family, but there's nothing he can do for him at the moment.
Understood.
So I think he would just like kind of like urge Matic onward so that they can join the fight up ahead alongside Rain and Justin.
Okay.
Matic makes his way.
The fight is very one-sided at this point. I'm going to make you guys roll or risk injuries for this next little part. This tower is basically taken, thanks to the gate being opened and the beacon being lit. Those were the 2 success criteria you had, and splitting you up through terrible rolls almost broke that. But here you are, and you've survived. So, I'm trying to think what else to zero in on. There's something here that's important.
Oh dear.
The crying guy in the swamp.
Yeah.
Pretty boring.
You know what? You are still in charge of your character. It's not like, it's not like you've lost control. So after you see Cormac charge away, like flee basically, what are you left with? What do you do?
Yeah, so does he flee into the swamp, or does he flee to? He doesn't go to try and fight the castle.
Oh no, he goes right through the right towards the front gate, as far as you can tell.
Okay,
like
let me
right...
roll. Let me roll something. Let me roll this versus. I guess I'll just roll on my love to see how sad I am. Yeah, okay. I think that he knows what kind of a mood Cormac is in. You know what? I got to roll forgiving.
Humble.
After all,
yeah.
that
So
yeah,
exactly. Like I think that he sees Cormac run off, and he's like, he's going to get himself killed. But, then he's torn between being pissed about the fact that he just tried to kill him in a swamp, and also the fact that his family. So I think he sits there for maybe a little bit too long before he makes the decision to follow him. I guess, does he find him? Does he find him like punching the gate or something? Or
give me a recognize roll.
yeah, real good at that. Hey, got it.
Yeah. You wait long enough to where what snaps you out of it, like I better go check on him, is you see Nanteleod and his army. Not Nanteleod. Nanteleod's probably not at the helm of his army in a charge, right? But you see his army coming in, so must have been a success if they're here.
They're coming, yeah.
Because they weren't very far away, right? Especially the cavalry. The cavalry is probably arrives like 5 minutes before the infantry in this case, right? They're here to get numbers in quick and start taking this castle and holding it until the infantry arrives. So you see the cavalry go in. and that that's what snaps you into it. When you get in, the castle is filled with fighting and bodies everywhere. And as you look around, you don't see Cormac.
Yep. Okay. I think he will.
But what you do see is a number of soldiers with caved-in heads. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Indication that maybe Cormac was here.
Yeah.
I think he's going to try to track the trail of collapsed craniums.
Okay. Yeah.
Cormac!
Give me a hunting roll.
No.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah, you're not sure. It's like you follow definitely his path, and then all of a sudden it stops.
Yeah, there's a lot of blood. And so that should have been at -5 anyway. So super fail. The recognize, everyone should have been at -5. The recognize would have failed as well. So it's probably all appropriate.
Well, that works even better. Yeah, whatever.
Yep. Yeah, cool. So I think he's just like wading through the blood and occasionally like, fighting a random person who rushes towards him or something like that, and just yelling out for Cormac as he kind of mindlessly stumbles through this battlefield.
Okay. Did I give glory out? I did for like the fights and stuff you guys are facing last time. Okay. But the northern tower of Great Bridge was taken. Everyone who participated can get 30 glory just for participating. Okay. As the fighting comes to an end, I think we'll start with a surgery roll for Collis. So the best available surgeon they have, it's going to be decent. 16. So, Collis, why don't you roll me a d20? And you want to get under a 16. Perfect. You will recover, my friend. But it is, you were majorly wounded, yes? You got one big hit?
Yes.
Okay. Should we do the aging then? I think we should. All right, the fun time of an age roll. Was I smart enough to put aging in here, or is this the sheet that doesn't have it?
It's attribute loss, not aging, right?
Yeah, attribute, right?
Yeah, the D6 and 6 is nothing. Otherwise, it's just straight down the line with the stats as written on the sheet.
Oh yeah, that's helpful. Okay, yeah, so just make a D6 roll, Collis.
All right, 2.
Dex.
I thought it was size strength.
I could be wrong. On my sheet, it's size Dex. Maybe it's size strength on the actual attribute loss roll.
No, size
Quick
dex.
look.
Yeah, size dex.
Yeah. We should verify, though, that that's with the...
My shorthand.
It's probably accurate, but want to verify.
I'll do that in the background for you. I'll let you know.
Sounds good.
Post something.
Okay, so we'll zoom away from Collis. We'll take a look at Rain, Rune, Matic, and Gwydir for a moment. And then we'll come back. We'll talk about Collis's recovery here pretty shortly.
Well, that was pretty harrowing. Everybody all right?
Just a couple flesh wounds.
Rub some dirt on it. You'll be fine.
Oh, it's not my first time having a couple flesh wounds.
Gwydir is just quiet and looking off, I guess, over the battlements, looking out into the swamp or something like that.
How you doing
We'll
over
go
there,
to-
Justin?
That
I was just asking Justin how he was doing.
I'm gonna say that Justin isn't present. Just I want to give
Okay.
some time to
Gotcha.
the players here.
I misunderstood the.
Yeah, you're all good.
breakdown.
I didn't verify one way or the other. But we'll say that Justin is also being patched up right now.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes
So,
sense.
how bad was it back there for y'all, Sir Gwydir?
Indeed, you sound
So,
pretty
Cormac is
energetic
interesting.
back there.
Where's Cormac?
I don't know, Maddox. That's why I'm looking. I lost him. He punched me
hold on.
when we
You
were standing
lost him,
outside, and then
Not the other way around.
he punched me, and then I swore an oath, and so I punched him back, and then he started trying to kill me in the swamp for some reason. He lost his mind, and then he ran off, and he's gone in there and he's killed some number of men, and I've lost him. So I don't know.
Rain's got this like sudden like look of clarity as he realizes what was actually going on when he heard all the commotion before.
You've got to be... You're joking. Right, Sir Gwydir? Sir Cormac. The patron saint of forgiveness and all that. Tried to kill you? For what?
Do I look like I'm in a joking mood, Sir Maddox? I'm not joking. All right, I'm
Yes,
not.
because the man who practically gives his oath to never do anything wrong would have outright tried to kill the man he what, respects the most? Or the second most?
Look, Cormac does not have the shining soul that we all might wish he has. Look, I think he tries his best, but at the end of the day, I think his god desperately and with all his heart hates the man. And
I'm not going to disagree. But
The man is not here to defend himself. Let's stop talking about Cormac. He has a story of running away every so often. He'll be fine like he always is. We have more pressing matters.
Thank you, Sir Rune. We do.
Of that, you are correct, Sir Rune.
Rain's just kind of shaking his head as he's realizing all the shit that went down. That he thought it was actual, like, normal combat business going on.
All right. With that, someone walks by, and you turn to see one of the heralds, and they decree. The king has declared that we'll be marching on the South Tower tomorrow. Every able-bodied man will be present. Get your rest.
Has Sir Cormac been found?
I just...
Oh, you've been here. Maybe the herald heard something.
Maddox, your tongue keeps getting you in trouble. It did with the king, and now it will with Gwydir if you keep talking like that.
Thank you, Sir Rune, again. Gwydir just gets up and leaves before he throws Maddox off the battlements.
The herald turns to Maddox and says, one of the cavalrymen recognized his body as he passed. It seems the archers
Was
got the best of him.
cavalryman.
How far did Gwydir get before that was said?
Awareness check.
Mm. Not
Yeah.
far enough.
Not far enough. And says Sir Derwin. You recognize he's another villa owner in Escavalon. Or in Carline.
And Maddox's gonna make a beeline for that man.
Okay. For Derwin or for the Herald?
Or Sir Derwin.
All right, you're gonna look for him because you're not sure.
Yeah.
Do you even know who Derwin is? That's a good question. So like,
Probably not.
yeah. So recognize roll. I will give you Derwin's not a. He is a knight, so we'll say. +4. He's a 4,000 glory knight.
Oh, I don't find him.
You don't know him. You don't know who he is. So you're not able to just go off on your own. You could go looking for him, but you're probably going to have to rely on like talking to people, courtesy. Or
You said he was a local to
intrigue.
Caroline.
Yeah, yeah,
Can I make a check too then? Because I live there now.
yeah.
Okay. Can't guarantee him. I recognize it's terrible too. So, yeah, no.
Turns out not so much.
Mm-mm.
Knight of no great import to say the least, but
Beneath our notice.
I think
Well-
Gwydir just runs straight down to the. As soon as he hears that, he he shudders with shock for a second, and he just starts sprinting, and he sprints straight down to wherever the bodies of the battle are, and just starts ripping off the covers, things of all of them to try and find him.
yeah.
I'm
Give,
going after him too.
give me an energetic roll -5.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Ooh,
you're like
there it
you're like a madman as you dig through the bodies, just one by one by one. And I think you're like this for a long time, and come up short.
I think that is relief for him in some way. I think he goes through like literally everybody deep into the night. He probably like even goes through the enemy bodies and stuff. Maybe he got put in the wrong spot, and he's just up all night, just shoving people away who try to help. And he sort of sits down and he says, He was wrong. He was wrong. He was wrong. He's out there somewhere. He has to be. He has to be. He sighs. Goes back to bed at like 2 a.m. or something. Thinking like an actual graveyard.
All right. We're going to advance forward through the actual battle, and we're going to do it quick because we don't have everybody there, and I don't want to do a big, long, drawn-out fight for the next one. What we're going to do for day 2, this is going to be more of a standard siege. We're going to roll battle. I'm going to get you guys to roll for Nanteleod's battle as the siege takes place. And then we're going to do some high-level rolls each round just to see how you're doing. That way we don't...
Chat again.
Yeah.
Let's give Bert the roll.
Yeah.
So I can
You can call us a roll.
fail it and fumble.
I'll call us. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, let them take turns or something.
Bert's got a character he can roll.
Oh, that's
Okay,
right.
cool.
There you go.
Call us,
Yeah.
you are now King Nanteleod. Congratulations.
You got a promotion, so roll good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You'll be rolling against a 21 battle. So roll a d20 +1 when you're ready. And this will kick off the the siege, and it'll be rolling
Alright.
against.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay. I think with a success on roll 1, it's not going to take too long for you to breach the wall. By that I mean it's not going to be days. So I'm going to get you to roll a d8 for me. Okay.
4.
On the second day of siege at right around noon, the fortifications are broken, and men have gotten inside. From this point, we're gonna go ahead and do another battle roll so this will be you again, Collis, the d20 plus 1, to see how you do against the enemy army. Siege is
only
now
4.
the siege is now halved. Ooh, still got higher, so you guys are fighting with a success, guys.
Wait.
So for all those that are fighting, sieging a castle isn't really a horse thing. So what we're gonna do is give you a battle roll to represent your navigation of the fortification, at which you want to get higher than the enemy, which was a 3. You want to succeed and higher than a 3, and you also will make a weapon skill roll of your choice for whatever you're fighting with.
Has it been long enough that I'm no longer sad, or I don't remember how long we've been like riding to get here for and all that sort of stuff.
I think because we did that was a pretty significant thing, and we had you go into melancholy way back. We kind of almost narrated your melancholy, like we made a narrative decision. So I think
true.
I think you can be out of melancholy the following morning, maybe with a renewed purpose, a different purpose than you had before. Yeah,
That makes sense. Yeah. All right. Got him.
all right. So everyone pretty much did well, save for a bit of a scenario with Matic and I think Rain, right? Rain succeeded battle roll, just not higher than opponent,
Right.
and Matic failed battle roll but succeeded at sword. So what we're gonna say is, this will kind of be like a save. I need a dex roll from both of you.
No.
All right. Well, I fumbled it.
Matic,
That's about right.
Jesus Christ!
Matic takes a good tumble off one of the walls.
Ooh.
That's a way to kill off a character.
Yeah. How many backup characters you got, Bert?
I've only got one more after this, but he's currently being hunted by.
Yeah, we
Nanteleod,
exiled him.
so-
Yeah.
You take 13 damage, sir. In one go. That doesn't put you into major wound territory, does it?
One shy.
One shy, perfect. Well, one shy is one shy. Yep. You land like onto a supply wagon, like with its lumber. You know, its handles up, so you like break right through the handles with your back. Doesn't feel particularly good.
No.
Other than that, you fight well in the battle. Rain, yours is just a failure, not a fumble, and you succeed at the other thing. So you end up with a 7 damage wound.
Okay. I'm still in good shape.
Yeah. And then overall, I'm going to apply separately a d6 damage to everyone who fought here, just to represent overall grazes. So Rune, you took 5. Rain separately, you took 3. Maddox separately, you took 1. Gwydir separately, you took 3. Probably arrows and stuff. And we'll say the army's basically in, success is basically in your hands. But Collis, why don't you roll for Nanteleod d20 plus 6 this time for the advantage that he has.
21.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah, that's probably gonna do it.
Best hiking ever, honestly.
Best High King ever.
Okay, the strategy is sound. You were in the Bailey already, but you basically are able to siege the remnants of the tower and take it. I think I'll go ahead and give everyone just one more weapon skill test.
Yep.
Yeah. I would put Maddox, if I were you, Burr, I'd put Maddox sword at 18, given his background. He's only knighted for a year, but he's been fighting since what year did he learn? Like he fought with you guys way back in Estragales. He was on a raid, He has a little bit more than normal skill, either sword or spear, but I would recommend higher than 15 in that case.
Well, his spear is higher, but
yeah,
he's been fighting ever since 500.
You take 5 more. Separate wound. And then I'm not going to dole out wounds to everybody I think you were already in an overwhelming state, so there weren't as many enemies to fight back against you all. So that'll be the end of that one. Everyone can have an additional 30 glory for a successful siege of the second part of Great Bridge. So you've now conquered Great Bridge.
Way.
Both towers are down.
Well done, everybody.
I survived one.
You survived. Yep. I think Woody is he's just focusing purely on the fighting and the battle and stuff at this point. I think he's been knocked out of thinking about the ladies. I think that, just before Cormac punched him in the face, he had sort of a resolution of what the plan might be, I suppose. And then I think all of the fighting and everything else since then has meant that he's sort of reached some kind of resolution internally about it. And now he's just kind of back in his element, starts joking again, starts singing again.
Okay.
Pretty well.
He just kind of takes and after the battle's over, kind of slaps him on the back. Good to have you back, brother. You weren't yourself.
You too. I know he'll be okay. He's. I don't know what that Durant was talking about. I checked every corpse in that castle, and he wasn't there. He's out there somewhere. I'm not going to go looking for him, but
We'll find the answers one way or another.
well, I don't think they lie with his god, because, well, anyway, it was a good fight. Well done. Proud of you all, except Maddox. I'm joking. You're fine.
Yeah, well. It was a poor showing this time.
Yeah, it wasn't one of Maddox's better performances.
That's right.
Nope.
The only way is up, Maddox. Besides, you're just a little guy,
You know, I've gone from the point of like being like, yeah, Bert has one of the unluckiest people I've played with. To yeah, Bert's probably in the top 2 unluckiest people I've ever played with. To yeah, no, I think Bert is the goat of unlucky.
yeah.
At least when it comes to Pendragon, it might just be a Pendragon thing. Who knows? Maybe his 20s stay 20s in D&D. Do your 20s stay 20s in D&D, Bert?
Nope, they turn into ones.
Okay. That's fair. It's tough, but it's fair.
He's also going to go look at Serene as well. Serene. Guys, goddamn names. Because he knows he's been struggling a little bit with a lot of stuff as well. And so he's like, just going to check on him. How did your fight go? Well done with that tower. I'm sorry I couldn't help you, you know, the whole thing, but...
You're fine, Sir Gwydir. We all have those moments. Ideally, it doesn't happen in battle again.
Ideally. It won't. It won't.
Well,
you
so
Any
we all
anything about Sir Collis?
I have not. I have not been to the tents ever since we got up here.
He's surprisingly tough for somebody who's the size of a child still, so I'm not so worried about him.
He's not that small.
He's not that big.
I mean, he's the goddamn lion of Pendragon.
Well, yes, some lions are little. It doesn't mean they're not tough.
Little respect on his name.
He's like a cat, but like with bigger claws than a normal cat, you know?
Fierceness. There you go.
Fierceness. See? Serene gets it. He'll be okay.
Like a cat in heat.
He was in a tough situation. He was having to fight 2v1 versus a knight and a guardsman.
Always a struggle.
It
Only
worked
by the
though.
grace of God, we didn't have to go through that.
Mm.
Right, Sarun?
By the grace of something. I'm not too very convinced these days.
By the
Given
grace
what's
of all
going
the
on.
gods. Thank the horse god, and thank Anrune, the god of death or whatever. I do know them all, I promise you. Wait, let me just roll in. I'll let you know if I actually do know them all. Hold on a second.
Is it Religion 3? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely know them all, and I will tell you once we're done debriefing about this very important battle.
Yes, of course.
Where's that druid that always reminds me so that I totally remember?
Yeah. I don't need him to remind me. I know them.
Of course you do. We trust you. You're
Thank you.
famously honest, right?
Why would I ever lie? All right, look, maybe I forget them sometimes, but to be fair, it's been a busy day. So, right.
Fair
Where are
enough.
the cords? I was expecting to fight some, like an army or something like that. I heard the Cornwallish had some sort of an army, but all I've seen so far is swamps and sadness and a couple of men jammed into a cave. Which, castle cave, same thing.
Yeah, it's as Gwydir notes that you recognize that you haven't met many knights. In those knights you have, you know, when you were rolling your characters' backgrounds and you had those like unimpressive grandfathers that just did garrison duty. Those are the knights that you're that you've faced so far. The garrisoned knights, but mostly just garrison soldiers. It seems like well, you could take that whatever way you will, but you're certainly not fighting the brunt of the Cornish army right now.
Mm-hmm. To be fair, I understand if they would want to run away from us. Who's going to stop us, honestly?
If I had to take a hazard a guess, I'd say they were busy elsewhere.
Busy
Busy
trying
doing
to find
something
excuses not to
somewhere.
fight us.
It could be.
Collis, we had you back to +1, right? With everything?
Yes.
And then what is your healing rate, sir? Is it 3?
Yes, it is 3.
Okay. Normally I'd say like No, but I think it's uninteresting not to. We're gonna do just the tiniest bit of a feast here, gents, with
Victory feast.
you know, we're not gonna do a feast because there's not like ladies and all that. So we're just gonna what we're gonna do is just play under the guise of like more of a narrative feast for this one. There won't be cards, won't be any of that. There's not really any ladies unless you're dragging like servants and maidens into the mix. There will be food. We'll do that. So you are you're eating like kings, but this would be like this is like a feast for a military, you know, not feast for a court.
Roast eagle.
Indeed, as someone
The heresy.
right. Collis, you'll be on your feet as it hits Sunday. You're back to 4 health. You can't really fight. You can't really do anything exerting, but you could go sit at a feast with your friends. Nanteleod is present, just to speak of who's here.
Amazing.
Yeah, we have Nanteleod, present. Any other major NPCs? Saraviz is here. Leo de Grants is here. Justin is here.
Oh yeah, is he dead? Justin? He's alive.
Oh, he didn't take as much as he didn't take like a major wound. He just actually probably did take a major wound, but that's all he took.
Yeah.
He wasn't knocked to 0.
Okay.
Let's see. Well, let's make sure who wants to roll for Justin's life. Because major wounds can kill you.
Gotta be up.
So we'll say it is. I'll give him the same Churgeon roll. See, 22. He's probably he can't fumble. He's good. You don't even need to roll. So Justin's
just stolen away.
Justin's here, just a little more hunched over than he was before. And yeah, I think that's it, guys. Obviously, squires and such are here, but as mentioned, the court didn't follow along with Nanteleod here.
No.
Well, I think I know what I'm going to do. I think, given the context, Gwydir is just going to spend a bit of time talking with Ethrida, his squire, who I think is an interesting character that we've not spent any time on yet. So I'm going to take this opportunity to do so.
And she is one that you agreed to squire from the north.
Yeah.
From the northern Saxons.
Yep.
We're actually Angles, but we didn't talk about that.
That's right, yeah. Judas. How do you want to do the whole thing? Do you want me to just start talking to her and figure it out?
Yeah, we'll assume that like Ethrida had gone ahead. I think you guys had ushered everyone ahead that could fit, right? Under the gate is probably what happened. Right.
Yeah, right. So she didn't see the whole Cormac thing necessarily. She heard about it, but she wasn't there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, with Frida, how are you finding all this night stuff and having a little bit of civilization for a change rather than your barbaric ways? He sort of says playfully. I think by this time he's learned that they're, as much as they have barbaric ways, they have their own culture and stuff, and he's just teasing her about
that. One sec.
Proud.
I rolled vengeful to see if she was going to go for the emotional kisser, but I don't think she will. I think she'll say, have you stopped whining about your whores that you no longer will be able to sleep with? And you know when she says that, this is not your seal amour. This is the random the messes you get yourself into.
Yeah.
The number of times we cut to a series of vignette of her, or like a montage of her sitting outside of a room, like bored out of her mind, waiting for you to finish or whatever. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think Grenadier just like literally like almost breaks his chair, rolling back, laughing in response to that. It's like, you know, and he's a big guy, so it's probably a big, stupid, boisterous laugh that like draws half the attention of the hall. And then he and he says, "You know, I quite do actually, Esfrida. Thank you for noticing. That's very kind. I have my own vices. I'm happy to admit. Do you not? How does that all work over where in the old Saxon lands? Saxony, I suppose.
Saxons are free. We don't have this pompous nobility and people that are forced beneath them, so we don't have roles. If someone is called a word that I just said, that's a fight between them and the person that called them that. And besides, we don't really care about such things, other than your word. Your word is important.
Damn right it is. It's all we have. I mean, the world would descend into chaos if people didn't stick to their word. I mean, every oath is built on a word. Every promise, every relationship is built on the trust of the word. I don't. No, I suppose it all makes sense. I was just wondering about the whole poisoning thing at Frida, because it seems to happen a lot, but they didn't promise not to, so I suppose it's all fair in their mind. Is that how it works?
We're talking about the Night of Long Knives.
Well, that and the other ones. There was the last High King, he was poisoned, and
that wasn't
there
Saxon. She scoffs.
Wasn't it? Who was that?
It's not what I heard. It was some I heard a praetor was claiming it, but not alone. People were blaming Gorlo's daughters too.
Really? Have you heard all this? How nobody's told me all it? Who's been speaking to my squire?
She smiles. I spent time when I was younger in Ibericum.
I suppose that's right. You came from over there. We've got the rest of the. I don't know if we call them Kimricks anymore. You know, do we call them Kimrick still?
Why wouldn't you?
They did betray us.
They warred with Logris. Logris isn't Kimry, not alone. You have Romans.
Shit.
And you're not even from Logris, you're from Gales.
Yes, but I'm still Kimrick. We're even probably more Kimrick in the Gales. Really, they should call it Kimricka.
Are you going to petition for that?
You know what? Maybe I will. And he goes up. Good advice. And he stands up and he starts to walk over towards Saroon. Saroon! Saroon! We need to rename our lands!
Why would we rename our lands?
Because we're all Kimbrick here. The Saxons get Saxony, and the Logresians get Logris. So we should have a Kimbricka, Saroon.
What? No.
Shut up, Maddock. You don't know anything. Kimbricka, because we're Kimrick. A land without name.
Our land is named what it is. It's where there's no need to change it.
He's the king. We can change whatever we want.
He could. Doesn't mean that he has to.
Can you write a letter for me, please?
I am not the best. You're usually the talker, would you?
Well, I figured don't these things have to go through letters or something nowadays?
Yes. Ideally, you follow the chain of command.
Okay, I'm bored of this already. I'm leaving. There's an eagle that got my name on it. Bye, Saroon.
Farewell.
That man is exhausting.
I'll presume that we keep
That
talking
man
for
is a
while.
champion.
And that
That
man is my
treasure.
brother, Maddox.
Collis, is there anything, since you're out of a lot of the scenes, Wergar, is there anything you want to zoom in on here?
I think Sir Carlos probably arrives a little late because it's a little bit harder for him to move around. So he probably comes in after this Sir Gwydir is having this conversation, and he'll sit down and ask Saroon and the other knights at the table. It has been twice now that my squires have saved my life. What should be a reward for them? And I would ask my fellow compatriots.
So when Collis comes in, Sir Maddox personally gets up and handles his chair for him. Personally pulling it out so that he doesn't have to work as hard trying to help out.
Blazing!
Don't be such a weasel, Maddox.
Give me a... I don't know, actually, Collis. You are a baron. Is this acceptable, or do you think he's talking like? Do you think he's trying to treat you like an old man, a disabled old man?
Sir Carlos is famously proud, so he'd probably not roughly, but sort of move Sir Maddox out of the way, push the chair back in, and then pull it out himself and sit back down. Like, I've been in enough battles that you can count. I can seat myself, but thank you for the gesture, Sir Maddox. It is not going unnoticed.
Saroon is just gonna laugh and slide a cup of wine over for Collis. I see that you are in a bit of a livelier mood now.
Well, being on the edge of death several times has led me to believe life is worth the small pleasures, and he'll sip the wine.
Good of you to join us, Sir Carlos.
Good to be alive. Thank you.
Yeah, the squires and Leontis did quite well. I was quite proud of them.
Patching my heavy bleeding, but don't let them hear too loud. I don't want them thinking that they taking care of an old man.
Oh, that'd be an insult.
We are getting old, cousin. We are getting old.
Sir Carlos will
for
look at
yourself.
Saroon. I don't think so. You are old, maybe. I am not.
You're also not tall, and I am.
But yet I'm the better sword fighter. Except this time.
I was about to rectify you. You were the one dragged away, cousin.
Did I or did I not kill my opponent?
I was not there to witness it.
The answer is yes.
From what I
That's
heard,
where you're
He won.
it was, accepting that you're going to be struck just to take out a foe of your own. I mean, there's courage in that, Sir Carlos. I commend you on your efforts. I think you did a great job.
That ferocity we spoke of earlier.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
Little lion
And-
man.
After a couple more sips of the wine, he'd probably lose track of the question that he asked. Now, where were you, Sir Gwydir? We were fighting for 2, 3, I don't know how long. We waded through the enemy, but yet I could not hear what was going on behind us, of what is believed to have gone on behind us. How many men were you fighting back there at the entrance?
It was fighting the equivalent of 3. And really, if you include Jesus in it, then I was fighting 4. But practically
Man, it
speaking, it
gives
was.
an exacerbated.
But realistically, it was just the one, a good friend of ours, Sir Cormac, who punched me in the face for, as far as I could tell, no good reason. So, you're welcome.
Yeah.
And it just proves to show that you're all nothing
Man
without
known
me.
to be intemperate punched you in the face for no reason.
Or did. And so don't go running off trying to do Gwydir shit when Gwydir's not with you, okay? Because you're just going to get yourself stabbed again.
I think Sir Carlos will probably. This will probably get a very good rye out of Sir Carlos, and he'll like suddenly stand up and then sort of almost double over a little bit, and has to get helped by his squires to sit back down. If I had my strength again.
Well, now you do sound like an old man. I don't like your attitude. Drink up. He gives him another drink.
All right. Is there anything anyone wanted to do with that scene? Beyond that?
The only thing that Rain would have been doing is kind of just hanging out with Leontis and stuff, letting him know how proud he was of him, how well he did. That's about it.
Sir Carlos did actually want to give a reward to his squires, though. That's the main thing that he wanted to. The question that was asked about, but
you find out that Rain's squire Leontis as well assisted you. Does your generosity, just to call it a trait, go that far?
Let's see. You're generous, selfless.
As a baron, it's you don't have to. So you don't have to choose to. I'll let you do it because I'm not forcing this roll. But typically, if you succeed at one, you don't have to roll the other.
Okay.
So I'll let you decide.
I think it befits them with like what happened.
Yeah.
So he can't exactly knight them early because they don't have enough experience, and I doubt he'd be able to. So I think he would give all 3 of them.
A reward of gold is always inspiring.
I'll give
Not
them each
much.
2 Libra,
Okay.
which is probably more than they see.
Yeah, they're all very grateful.
I just jumped at 2 Libra.
They're all very grateful, and I think the courteous thing to do is not to refuse. I'm getting my courtly role-playing games mixed up. I think in this, in the Kimry, I don't think it's super polite to refuse multiple times a gift. But if it is, they do it, all of them. I'll look it up after. I'm getting some Legend of the Five Rings cross-brain there.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, just a little.
I can't remember if that's a courtesy that was similar in East and West culture or not. But regardless, all 3 of them are kind of like almost like inspired by that. Squires aren't typically rewarded in any sort of fashion. It doesn't spoil them or anything. They were heroes. They went in. They could have faced the same exact fate you guys did, right? So, all right. And if you're giving them each 2 Libra, you will get 6 more glory for Collis.
Oh.
And
Glory
tick
hound.
on generous.
All right.
All right. With that, you are assigned to effectively those who are injured are assigned to rest. And another week goes by as scouts are sent out for those in positions of authority, which I think we established is pretty much just Collis at this point, right? Right. Collis, you are given additional information. Specifically, I'm going to move us over to a map and kind of show it on here so it's easier. Everyone will be kind of made, to know this in short order. But right now, Collis is getting this information a bit earlier than everyone else. They will not be sieging Bath this year. That is not their intention. By holding Great Bridge. Do I have you guys over so you can see? Yes, I do. Okay. So if you can look to the map, by holding Great Bridge, which crosses the river now, you now have access to all of Summerland. The king's intent is to locate the camp of King Cadwy, which he believes is hidden in the swamps in the mist. That's the rumor where his camp was found.
Cool.
On top of that, he's going to be sending out convoys in almost like raiding parties to try to liberate various manors throughout the northwest, northwest of Summerland.
Including Barrowcrest, or is that not north enough?
We'll see. So the biggest issue, or do you know? Let's make a battle roll and see if you've been briefed on the situation enough.
At 12. Succeed.
The biggest issue is that reports from the scouts suggest that when they go out, even with good maps into the mist, east turns into west and north south, and they find themselves all over Summerland. The superstitious lean into it being magic, and the worldly lean into it being bad luck. Nevertheless, it's absolute chaos for any sort of coordination of an army.
Okay. Is Sir Carlos, this briefing, where exactly is it taking place?
We'll probably do a briefing with everybody. For Rune, for everybody, including Carlos, you're going to go through a second Sunday right before you're acting again. That might not be enough for Carlos, though. I will note. We might have to figure out.
I am awake.
Yes, you are awake. You might have to do the armchair, coordinator, at least for maybe the next scene or next session. We can iron that out. We'll sort out.
Gotta get to half hit points before you can.
I have
we
to
getting any
actually be a
first aid
commander
checks?
now.
Yeah, you can all get first aid checks on each of your wounds,
Okay.
of course, and 2 Sundays, so 2 healing rates.
Okay.
Okay.
3 wounds.
You're kind of getting like advanced sort of intel, Collis, versus actual debriefing. If you want to speak to the king directly, you do have that access. It sounds like right now what they're putting together, and this wasn't necessarily the plan. They'd hoped to be able to march an army through the fog, but with what the scouts are reporting, they're rethinking that. You find out they originally planned to march an army to St. George.
That makes sense.
Which is somewhere, it's here. There we go. But given the situation, the suggestion is to send out convoys of knights seeking to liberate less fortified manors that could be reclaimed without much in the way of preventing a good raid from at least overthrowing the garrison there. If they're garrisoned at all. That's the other thing. If they're not garrisoned, then that at least effectively looking for prisoners in the prison and seeing if they can liberate more allies from Summerland who would support Nanteleod's cause against Cornwall.
Gwydir will volunteer to lead as many men as he will be given.
Anything? I just want to check in with Collis. Is there anything you want to do in advance with this with the king?
So, end goal is we're trying to find the enemy's main camp. And we're really mostly in a swampy environment.
Oh,
I don't know if we're trying to find
I
the
should
enemy's
help with
main
that.
camp.
That makes sense. So it's not the enemy's camp you're seeking. It's the king of Summerland. So the overthrown king.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah. And you know what? Curious. Why don't you give me a recognize roll? Not a lot of bonus. We're gonna give you like a +3, even though he's a king. Okay.
Nope.
Why don't you give me a folklore roll?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, well, you know what? We'll say you hear reference to two things. Cadwy, King Cadwy, and the Magician King. You're not sure if those two things are even synonymous. And they're not King Idris of Cornwall. Right? So petty kings, maybe. You don't know. I mean, how many kings do you have back home, right?
Yeah.
If you count like Brecon and everywhere else, everyone's a king. So
Only one that matters, though.
Yep. That would be Nanteleod, the
Yeah.
High King.
At the moment, I don't think Sir Carlos has anything. He'd probably just be taking in as much information as he can, and pretty much he'll be brainstorming.
Okay. Understood. Why don't we see then who's going to participate in these early liberation efforts? So they're looking for leaders that are competent. If you want to lead a convoy, you're probably going to need a battle and a hunting of 10 or above. And then for Matic, you probably don't have the glory to, but everyone else would.
No.
Yeah.
He would volunteer to go
Yeah.
quest to find the king of the
Yeah.
deposed king.
You could do that. Yep. That's another option. So there's questing. There's effectively campaigning or raiding rather the Northwest and trying to liberate allies that would fight for your cause, or there's going to see if you can find the deposed king. I'm gonna warn you that you might end up somewhere you don't want to be anyways. So, that's what the fog does. So why don't we start, as we're getting close-ish to tonight's end, why don't we figure out who's going where? we'll say that you've all been debriefed on the situation. And we're trying to figure out if you guys are going together by the end of this scene or if you're going to be splitting up.
Okay.
I'm going to step away for 30 seconds and grab a water.
What do you think, boys? Maximize chaos, split up,
I was
Or,
thinking so,
hang out-
yeah.
or hang out together and try and all.
My hunting is bad, so
I was gonna say, I think in general, like
Oh yeah,
our
how many
success
you guys-
rate will probably do better altogether, but given the
Yeah.
criteria that Bob laid out, I mean, Rain could theoretically lead something. He's at a 12 battle, and his hunting is 16, so
Right.
and he is
I
the
have-
forester back home, so you know,
I have a
That's true.
13 battle and a 6 in hunting. So
yeah.
I'm
So, I
famous
mean,
in both.
Yeah, so the battle and my awareness is 17, which I know that doesn't come into play very often, but it's magic land, so it might
It
pop
could
up
be
more
useful.
often. Yeah.
Yeah.
if anything, I'll probably go searching for the king's camp with Maddox.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The
I figure if
young
we're-
knight needs some good guidance.
Well, I could
So I
use
think
some
it'd be-
good guidance.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, that would make sense. If only you had, the nicest knight in Britain squiring. Or you were squiring for them. The sounds like maybe 2 squads. Then we'll have like hunting squad and trying to find the king squad. Is that right, or do we want a 3rd squad?
I mean, I can go either way, but if I do lead a convoy, I'm going to get lost.
Yeah. Well, I think you said you have to have a hunting of 10 to get given one, right?
Yeah.
Does anybody else? So
he could be
me and
assigned to a
Drax-
convoy, and probably another named NPC. Did Mathonmi
Yeah, right.
Mathonmi's still alive, right?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. So could be Mathonmi could lead one. He has a high hunting after all.
What is Scarlet going to do?
So do I still get my first aid rolls, or since I already had them after I got hit, there's really no use in having them?
Yeah, I think you're in a bad spot. I'm trying to think what our options are here. I'd say, well, it's probably going to be in another week of scouts, maybe 2 weeks. Why don't we do this? Let's see how long it takes Nanteleod to get organized. And I do this reckless versus prudent roll, and it's going to tell us how early you guys got to set out. Because he's sending scouts out who are not his knights, right?
Yeah.
And he's going to do that for a while. I'm just going to check whether he's more prudent. Okay.
He strikes me as very prudent.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
That tells me something, though.
Seize the initiative.
Oh.
Ah!
Wow.
Okay.
Well,
Maybe
he
Goodyear
just-
gets an idea.
No,
Well,
no,
we'll
I
see
don't
how
think
that
so.
goes.
You know what he's going to do? He's going to pull all of you in to a private meeting. And like you can tell that he looks a little tired. Like he's not been getting a lot of sleep.
Interesting. Stressed.
Yeah.
The fact that he's bringing me in. He doesn't even like me.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It's the crit on reckless for you.
Yeah.
Hi, King. How may I serve?
My swords. I have a priority for you.
Name it, and it shall be done.
Indeed it will.
I will serve to the best of my ability.
I have not been entirely truthful with all of you. The boy you knew as Finnegan. He is important.
I don't think Gwydir knew anything about any of this, did he?
I think the only one that the hilarious thing is the only one that really like would have a sense of this was be Collis. Because
Yeah, right.
Collis had that duel with that guy, remember? Way
Right.
back. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
All
you
those years ago.
yeah.
Cormac knows that
Yeah, Cormac as well.
Nanteleod
But Cormac's
named
not here.
Finnegan his heir.
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
always thought, High King, that he might be a fairy of some sort. We did find him next to my Lyriathar in the woods.
He is quite mortal. He's human. He's man. But he is important. Important to the structure of things. To this land. So important, in fact, that there are enemies active in Summerland that seek him and seek his death.
We get to go kill the guy.
I have very little information thanks to the mist. It's problematic, and I need more. I'm hopeful if we can just find the Magician King or find allies that knew of him, know of his last whereabouts, know what happened when St. George fell. And he looks to Justin, and you see Justin hang his head.
Let me just make a little cheeky little roll
Do
here.
we not have any soldier, any knights that served under this king amongst us? Have they all been scattered to the winds?
Well, I was champion of Summerland, but I haven't spoken to them since then.
Very few. And those that did have not been in communication with the king. I have information from some of Uther's old retired knights. They said that the last time Uther invaded Summerland, they found the king in the swamps in a camp. Just like this scenario, they'd mentioned a great fog, one that seemed to attack their very hearts as they rode through it. We kind of, let me check spiritual, hold on one sec. It's pious, right? Where is it? There we go. They call King Cadwy the Magician King. I'm unclear if he is in fact... I've heard too many tales of Merlin not to... or to too quickly dismiss the possibility of sorcery. Perhaps it is granted by the devil, who's to say. But as far as I'm aware, this mist doesn't behave like anything I've witnessed before. It does seem to create problems with our scouts. And I'm afraid that's all the information I have, and I need more. We could take Bath, but we already have access to the rest of Summerland. And the scouts that we sent that way, because of the limited mist at the borders, have reported that they've seen no armies in Bath, only garrison. I don't know what Cornwall's up to, but I know that under Cornwall's control, I simply need to know more.
Of course, Your Grace. I will look. I will look, Your Grace. When I was here last, I made contact with some Summerland locals. I don't know what their status will be right now on account of all this, but perhaps if they've surrendered or something, I could find their manor and ask them what if they could help. Perhaps they seem to be on good terms with King Cadwy, so.
Very good. I will leave it to all of you how you wish to organize, but we will prioritize your movements. You have 1 week, and then you'll embark.
As you command.
Of course, my liege.
Rune will bow, and then he'll make his way.
Rain does the same.
I think that's unfortunately not going to be enough time for Collis to recover enough, at least for whatever happens next. What I'm going to propose, since we're nearing the end of the episode, is Wergar, if you want, you are a baron, so if you want to make up a secondary PC player night that is a subject of yours, right? They can be a vassal of you if you'd like. That at least gives you some connectedness, and then also if Collis ever goes down, you have someone probably right nearby that you'd be able to swap to.
Yeah. I think I actually was thinking the same thing. Collis would probably be busy with trying to recover and then dealing with whatever bureaucracy being a baron has. So yeah, it makes sense. And he has several knights that he already has, so he could probably just play as one of them.
Understood. Okay, we're gonna end with one last little teaser. Sir Cormac, you wake to what you remember having a dream. It was pleasant. It was you taking care of your villa and your daughter's with you and Finnegan's there and everything's peaceful. And then over the wall of Carlion, you see a wave come, a tidal wave, a great wave from the sea. And then you feel it hit. It's crushing force of nature that destroys all. You wake, the feeling of wet all about you. You're drenched, and you see the man that just threw the pail of water on your face. You try to move, and you realize your hands are bound in irons behind you.
Aye, that's a good one. And who might you be?
You see what very clearly looks like an older man, probably lowborn, given the scenario, probably a jailer, right? And he doesn't really respond to you at all. He just calls out, "The prisoner's awake. Send for the prince." And it's not too long, not too long before Prince Mark stands before you.
You got corned.
Beside him is a mountain of a man, probably about your height in size, very bushy looking. Give me a recognize roll, but your eyes are blurry and such. I'm going to give you a -3 on this recognize roll.
Aye.
Yeah.
Not quite.
Yeah, you're like, oh, what? And that was, just to make sure, it says Sir Matic, but that was Cormac's sheet, right?
Oh, that was done with Cormac's
Roll. Yeah, okay.
modifiers.
Just making sure.
Well, unless my eyes deceive me, I seem to be looking at, people. Allow me to introduce myself as it is. I'm Sir Cormac, captain of Nanteleod's guard. And apparently I am your prisoner.
Prince Mark
Who might
looks.
I have the pleasure of speaking to?
You see Prince Mark look over to the large man, and he looks to him and says, "Tor, can you validate that?" And the big man narrows his eyes a bit at you. I'm gonna roll something. Who's to say? I remember one of them carried a hammer.
Aye. That narrows it down a bit. Probably me. Did I accidentally hurt you? I didn't mean to. Unless you were trying to hurt me. But who's to say?
Yeah. The big man doesn't say anything. Mark steps forward and looks at you curiously, and he says, "So you're the captain of Nanteleod's guard. Your captors suggested that perhaps you were of import. He recognized your heraldry as a knight of Nanteleod's with some additional markings. Do you know a lot then about your king?" Sorry, if you could not talk over me, I would appreciate it. And with that, he motions to the big guy, and the big guy comes over and backhands you.
Not very hospitable, are we?
Not to captors.
I see.
He looks to you a long moment and says, you'd probably make a fairly good ransom. But I've been offered a great deal more by another, seeking some key information. So perhaps we'll start there. If you're close with this Nanteleod, the king, perhaps you know then his relation to this one they call the Winter Prince. And with that, we're going to go ahead and close for the episode.
Shit.
Uh-oh.
I'm pretty sure Prince Mark is a nice guy. It should be fun.
Yeah, I hear he's one of the
Great
best in
guy.
Arthuriana, really.
I mean, heck,
Yeah.
Arthur likes him a bit.
I mean,
Yeah.
if he's the Prince Mark from Tristan and Isolde, then that's, he kind of got gypped a little bit with that whole magic potion thing.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah, he does his best.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and close there for the session. When we begin next time, why don't we we can set Wergar up right now with a secondary knight sheet, and then we can make up one of his vassals. Here we go. Wergar 2-piece PK, we'll call it. And Wergar can edit. All players can see. All right. So you see at the top of the list there, Wergar, you should.
Yep.
Awesome.
I have a brand new knight that I made for my Open Pendragon game, so we can kind of use him as a base and make some tweaks, or you could just use him as a copy and change his name or whatever if you don't want to do the work. Or I can help you make the whole thing from scratch, whatever you like.
We also don't need to do Book of Sires for secondary characters. We could always flesh that out. Like, we could find out where he's from. You could do that part of Book of Sires, like where's your homeland, and then just assume the rest. And if he happens to go into the full, primary character in the future or something, then we can sort of rejig that a little bit, flesh it out more. But I'm not too worried. Hope y'all had fun. Always love this game, and we'll see what happens next time. Thanks, guys.